What's good, folks? What's up, homies? It's your boy Trap Dragon Z, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. Today, I got my boy Benedict Saiyan. Got him coming through, and we talking about the reality behind some of the anime moves and anime in general, as it pertains to like martial arts. So let's bring him in.
What's up, Trap? Just gonna
What's
be here,
good?
man.
It's good to have you, man. Like I was telling you before, back in like the digital studio, that I've been like taking a look at some of your content, especially like the fights. I'm gonna give you a moment to kind of tell your story, to talk about your content a little bit. But I'm a fan from what I see, just from a martial arts standpoint, just being an MMA junkie and just finding that content entertaining. So let them know about you.
All right, I appreciate the intro, man. So yeah, my name is Benedict Ang. Instagram at Benedict Saiyan. Reason being, I've always been watching Dragon Ball growing up. I would after school watch it and rewatch it up to even today. All right, watch everything on Dragon Ball. So got into martial arts at MMA at 16 years old. And my coach back then, his nickname is the Magician. All right. So fighters, they tend to have a nickname. I'm like, what is it that I relate to the most? Saiyan, and it just stuck with me. All right. So yeah, I'm turning 27 this year. Been doing martial arts for 10 plus years now. Had a total, I believe, a combination of boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA. 28 fights, 25 wins, and 3 losses. Right now, I'm doing online fitness coaching as well as still training. Always want to level up as a martial artist, just like Goku. You're always seeking to be better, break your limits, and it's a never-ending journey of continuous self-improvement. So that's more about me, and yeah.
Well, I mean, you stuck to your guns on that. You said something about watching anime, not watching anime, but watching Dragon Ball when you got home from school. And I feel like that's an important detail because now you don't get to like come home from school and like watch Dragon Ball. So I'm wondering, how old are you? Because
Yeah, I'm turning 27 this year. I'm born in 1996. Back then, I'm not sure if Kid Central is a thing in America, but it was a thing in Singapore. Like, it's basically called Kid Central, and I didn't even get to watch. So when I got introduced to Dragon Ball, it was during the Frieza saga, all right? And yeah, it was during the Frieza saga where Goku turned Super Saiyan, the time that broke the internet, right? And after that, halfway through the Cell saga, it wasn't even finishing the Cell saga. They ended the series, so I had to go and watch everything again. I found out that Dragon Ball Z actually ended the year that I was born. So the Z series actually ended in
I remember that.
Yeah,
but I asked that because you definitely grew up in that era of coming home from school. Now for us, it's Cartoon Network that you watch it on. But you come home from school, it come on at like 4:00, and you sit through like that whole time block. So knowing how old you was kind of shed some light into why you watched it that way. And I thought that was like an interesting detail. So being a professional MMA fighter, I know from like participating in like amateur MMA, where you can't throw things like elbows and stuff like that. How intense does it get being in a professional setting compared to like being an amateur?
So I would argue that actually a lot of amateurs can beat pros now. All right, the amateur level is extremely high nowadays, and it's actually the right way to do it. So you think of the BPL and everything. You don't play Premier League your first league. You play Division 1, Division 2, things like that you build up. So in terms of intensity, I would just say the only difference is more like the crowd energy. All right. Okay. Of course, because professional event, they sell more, of course, and it's a nicer setup compared to amateur. But in terms of level of fights, it really depends on where you're at and the organizations.
Okay. That's some good insight, because I have a few friends who have like went to that paid pro level, and it kind of speaks to what you're talking about. That it's like the level of intensity is right around the same ballpark, but you're getting paid now, so you're not just swinging for fun.
So
So
skills level is, yeah, the highest level. Okay, the best amateur organization I believe is IMAF. That is extremely high level. All right. So in terms of skill level wise, you talk about the best amateur and the pros. It's actually very competitive. And at the end of the day, fighting is fighting. All
yeah,
it takes is one punch to put someone out. It doesn't matter how famous you are, where you're from. A punch is a punch.
and
You both need
you
rice, you
see
both need oxygen, so both can get knocked out. That's the reality of fighting.
and that's why you see those underdog wins where it's like one hit and it changed it. Like, classic one is what is it, Matt Serra and George St. Pierre.
Yep.
Classic one right there where underdog wins just because it shows you that one hit can change the game. So as a segue into that, what do you think, and we can talk a little bit more about the different moves and the different characters.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is one anime move that is a very practical move that could put an opponent out? Maybe not in one hit, but a move that just in your mind you can think that's practical.
Right now, I believe anime or in only Dragon Ball.
It can be any anime because you probably
Okay.
watch more than that.
Yeah. In any anime, it's what is that called? Who? There's one guy who is known for his cross counter in Hajime no Ippo.
Oh, I just started that. I got my friend. Shout out to Ginyu, Captain G. At the mind slipping, but he always makes me want to watch that anime, and I probably got like 4 or 5 episodes in. But from a boxing standpoint, definitely one of those. It seems like one of those really practical anime.
Definitely. And the thing is with boxing is actually a real thing. So the techniques that they talk about in what is that called? Hajime no Ippo is actually like the reality of life in terms of the boxing, the techniques and everything. Even okay, you haven't watched this, you haven't reached this part yet, but one of Ippo's like senpai, the frog guy, I can't remember his name now. It's not Kimura, it's the other one.
Is it the older guy?
No, it's not Takamura is the best guy. And then there's
Okay.
Kimura, which is like meh. And then there's another senpai. I can't remember his name. So one of the move he did is basically he looked away and he punched someone. That is his move, and that is a real thing in boxing and fighting as well. A distraction and then hit someone. That works.
Hmm. It does like to not look when you hitting somebody.
Yeah, as a very good distraction. Like you literally look someone else, like you distract and then you hit. That is like
Oh,
one of
because
the
you're
oldest
not
trick in the books and it still
telegraphing.
works.
Is it kind of like
So,
because you're not telegraphing the punch?
yep.
Okay. Oh,
So from when you talk about anime wise, which is boxing move or which move that is very much like reality, I would say pretty much every move in Hajime no Ippo it is because it's actually made of the real thing. So if we remove that anime itself, the move that came into my mind right away is the fight with Jiren and Goku.
okay.
Jiren throw across, Goku slip to the side and hit Jiren to the body with a lever shot.
Now I wish, because I've got to give me a producer so I can like have him search something up and then look at it. But I know what you're talking about because that entire like that last fight for sure, like the last fight between
Mhm.
Goku and Jiren, and not the one where he's in Ultra Instinct Omen, but the one
Yep.
where he's full mastered Ultra Instinct is I feel like choreography wise one of the most detailed fighting scenes that we get from Dragon Ball
It
because
is.
you have him doing a lot of different movements that are like not just it gets super flashy where it teleport here, teleport there, but
Mhm.
that one we got like slipping of punches, we got body blows, we got a lot of choreography in that fight.
And for those that wondering, right, I'll just share some martial arts stuff from here as well. When you learn martial arts, actually when you learn every skill, but works particularly well in martial arts. So there is 4 aspects of it. Unconscious incompetence, UI actually, if you think about the words. Unconscious incompetence, that means you do not even know how bad you are. And then there is conscious incompetence. So you know how bad you actually are. All right, like you know that you are making a mistake. And then it moves on to conscious competence. So you know that you are doing it well, but you have to consciously do it well. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
And then the last one is unconscious incompetence, which is the real ultra instinct. That means your body moves by itself. It's basically ultra instinct already. So all your training, all right, when it comes to the fight time, boom, the move, you slip the punch by itself, you hit by itself. As Bruce Lee said, when the punch comes, I do not think. I just go and it hit by itself. Something like that. So that is like the ultimate form of or ultimate mastery of martial arts, where you don't have to think anymore. It's just automatically you fight on ultra instinct, I guess.
And I was thinking about that, where like just from doing like karate, Muay Thai, like boxing, and just everything else, especially wrestling. Um, I I feel like muscle memory
Mhm.
and ultra instinct play very like close together as far as like how practical it is. And I did want to ask you about ultra instinct because I thought that like obviously in the show it's extremely exaggerated what's
Yeah,
happening. But in real life, have you ever had those moments that feel ultra instinct like?
definitely. So in a training session, I had training session that is like, you know, I've had I'm not probably more than 10,000 hours of training right now, right under my belt. There was a particular session that I can remember. It feels like ultra instinct, like fucking sleeping, moving, like literally untouchable. So when you think about ultra instinct, it means like you basically can't be touched in terms of people hitting you, move and everything, right?
Hmm.
In terms of a fight, I didn't feel like ultra instinct, but I know after when I watch it, it looks like ultra instinct.
That you
So
didn't
I'm
remember
sure I
the
have
exact
a few
move.
clips, but when we do edit this video or this podcast when it comes out, we'll find certain clips to fit in that certain part of this podcast.
Yeah. No, no, no. I like that one a lot. Like I feel like Ultra Instinct is something that Goku should have learned earlier in the series. Like as a martial artist, training as much as he trained, you mentioned like 10,000 hours. Goku is probably doing that, every day of his life, even though it's only 24 hours in a day. But
It just
I
shows you how tough it is
yeah,
because it's mastery level, man.
you would think that it would have clicked in by now, like prior to the tournament of power. It's one of those things that I thought was like kind of, I don't know, something he should have learned earlier, but I like the way he learned it there. Do you
Yeah,
have
under pressure as well. But the thing is, like, now that he learned Ultra Instinct, I'm not sure how they're gonna power skill it out because Dragon Ball power skill is like the most ridiculous thing. But in terms of
absolutely.
a martial art point of view, after Ultra Instinct, there's really nothing better other than perfected Ultra Instinct, I guess.
Yeah, or him stacking Super Saiyan on top of it, which I personally hope they don't do it just because I feel like that whole mastery of self is what they
Mhm.
were trying to get with it. And it's supposed to be like this state of being where you not angry, where you're not like running off of emotion. And him, I guess, are you up to date with the manga?
Yeah, the manga one right now is like Trunks is asking Mai out for a date or some shit like that.
Okay. So you know that Goku does the true Ultra Instinct thing where he can apply emotions to Ultra Instinct. And from my perspective, that just kind of threw the whole thing off because it's like the whole thing behind Ultra Instinct was that he wasn't being that way. So I don't hate it. I just feel like it kind of muddies the whole practicality of the form.
Yep, agree. I mean,
But
honestly, at this point, sometimes Dragon Ball doesn't make sense, but I'm just happy to see my heroes again. That's why people give a lot of GT Dragon Ball GT a lot of shit. But I'm like,
mhm.
hey, anything to see my heroes again. So that's what I.
That's the same way I am because Whenever somebody is reviewing Dragon Ball and they start reviewing it like extremely harsh, and it's like I don't see how you like watch that dog shit. I got a meme that I put out a while ago, and it's like, how do you read the Dragon Ball Super manga? And it's Denzel Washington in Training Day when he pushes it back, pushes the newspaper back, and he was like, because it's bullshit, but it's entertaining me and you won't let it entertain me, so you entertain me. And that's what I'll be thinking about Dragon Ball, because at a point, don't overthink it. Like you taking the fun out of it. Like you watch
Yeah,
it, you having fun, enjoy it. Damn.
exactly.
But do you have a favorite character? And I'm gonna ask you your favorite Dragon Ball character and your favorite anime character overall. But do you
Okay.
have a favorite Dragon Ball character?
Dragon Ball character, the favorite, it's really damn hard to pick between between Goku and Vegeta. So I aspire to be Goku. Think of it this way: I aspire to be Goku. Continuous self improvement, always better. Goku is basically the perfect role model if you really think about it. But
Mhm.
I relate more to Vegeta as a person going through life because yeah, there's always someone gonna be better than you. There's always that competition, and as a person, I relate more to Vegeta. So I aspire to be like Goku. I relate more to Vegeta. In terms of just liking the person, I like Broly because of how devastating he is.
Yeah. Wait. Which Broly though? Do you like OG Broly or do you like Broly from the new movie?
OG Broly for his character. Power, of course, you like the new Broly because the new Broly is stronger. But the
Mhm.
character wise, how crazy he is, just pure destruction. The OG Broly, man.
Yeah. I I might have to agree with that perspective of it because I like new Broly's design. It looked dope, like the fur around him. I thought
Mhm.
that looked savage, but the way that he acted, it was like I don't know. They kind of simped him down a little bit, where he started even in his beast-like form, he was a shell of him for his former self. So I
Exactly.
like the personality of old Broly, but I like the design of the new one. But I see that Vegeta in you though. Like when I was looking at your content, I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a lot. It's edgier than Goku is, but I can see how anybody would aspire to be Goku like. But do
Yeah,
you got a anime character that you like that isn't in Dragon Ball, or have you got a few of them?
I definitely got a few. Mm, from Demon Slayer, I guess it's Gyu because it's just how fucking cool he is.
Which one is it? That's
Gyu Tomika.
I can't remember the names. I
It's
suck
the
with it.
Water Hashira. The first the guy that saved Tanjiro from his sister.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, cool and collected, dude.
Yeah, super cool. And I like Tengen as well. Tengen Yuzui, the guy with
Oh,
three wives.
flashy,
The guy
flashy. Yeah,
the
that's
guy with
probably
three
my
wives.
favorite so far. Is
Yeah.
him from Demon Slayer. Do you have um do you have a favorite move? I know that we talked about the most practical move that came to your mind at first. But do you have a favorite move from anime? And it can be from we can do one from Dragon Ball and we can do one from all of the anime out there. But do you have some moves?
Hmm. It doesn't have to be a martial art move, right? It can be any move, right?
It can be any move.
I think I have to go with the OG Kamehameha.
Who
Or
hasn't tried it?
yeah. That is like every kid tried it. And one move that I thought was really, really cool, I would take up from Demon Slayer, I would go from Full Metal Alchemist, Roy Mustang. You know when you basically burn one of the homunculus or whatever.
Yeah, what is it? Homunculi. That's
Yeah.
that's my favorite character from. Oh no! From Full Metal Alchemist is probably Scar and
Sky is dope.
and and Mustang are my favorite characters from that show.
I just like how Mustang, snap power like flame out of his, and that is like one of the most savage killing of someone.
Yeah, it was a good revenge. Like I was talking about on the last podcast, Shikamaru from Naruto and
Mm-hmm.
how his revenge was pretty cold blooded. But I think that in terms of the most gratifying ones, it's got to be Mustang because that was raw. He snapped off on bro like
Yeah,
left and right excessively. So I enjoyed that one.
yeah, same. So yeah, you
Um,
had a move probably that.
it was something. It was something that I wanted your thoughts on. Um, and I think it would have to be like, what is your favorite fight scene, like in anime? You can give me more than one of them, but
Mm-hmm.
what's the favorite fight scene?
Fight scene wise, damn. I
Because
hate
I
to
got
always, put up the strongest, the latest one, but they simply just get better, right? Goku and Jiren, that is definitely dope. That is one.
okay,
And from another one, I would say is like the Takamura, and there's this guy from Ipoh that is basically Takamura last fight. There's this guy that is like boxing like crazy. He has a
you gonna
crazy
make
style.
me
I can't
watch
remember
that
his name right now. But it's basically Takamura, the almighty Takamura, which never lose at all. His toughest fight in boxing. That is an epic fight. Because it shows different aspects of boxing as well. Mm, Demon Slayer, the arc where they kill off the first upper moon.
one. Okay,
Have you
okay,
watched that part yet? The Tengen, Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Tanjiro. They fight the
yeah.
brother and sister demon.
I thought somebody was gonna die in that fight. Like I was surprised that he came back with one arm and one eye.
Yeah,
That was the hardest shit that I've seen in that show so far. Because when somebody lose a limb, they usually stop fighting.
yeah.
Like it's usually game over when you lose an arm. But bro lost an arm, an eye, and was poisoned and fought harder than before. So that's one of my favorites too.
Anime teaches us a lot, man. If you really absorb the lessons of anime and translate it to real life, phew, I think life can be a lot better. I think life will be a lot better.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. Like one of the hardest workouts that I do right now, and I saw that you do it too. You definitely live way more than I do with that one. But kettlebells, like
Mhm.
kettlebells are so hard, but they my favorite weighted workout to do. And I will think about Vegeta in the gravity chamber every time I'm doing it because I'd be like, I know Vegeta wouldn't stop, or Goku when he was in the spaceship on the way to Namek. Those
Mhm.
are two of the like Dragon Ball workout scenes that I think about whenever I'm working out and I low key want to give up. Those are the two. So I want to
Perfect.
ask you, what anime workouts do you think are both? You can give me your most practical one, and which one do you is just your favorite? It don't have to be practical.
Practical wise is really the gravity chamber. So gravity chamber is basically it makes things heavier by okay, it makes things heavier, right? So and that is basically how you get stronger in real life as well. You instead of going to a gravity chamber, you put on more weights. You wear a weighted vest to do your push up, and then for some reason, and then the translation to time chamber. Time chamber is where time slows down, right? So
Hmm.
another way you can get stronger is basically by slowing down the speed of execution in the exercise. So instead of a normal push up, 1 second up, 1 second down, you can take 5 seconds to go down, 5 seconds to go up. Try it, it's way more difficult. So
Yeah,
that itself is like a hyperbolic time chamber. It slows down time.
because I
So
be
those
trying
two
to
are
rush
actually
through
very
them
practical.
boys. Like I
What?
do, like if I do like 50 push-ups, I try to rush through them because it's
Yep.
like, all right, like crank out as many pushes as you can. But you saying do them slower.
Yeah. Doing them slower, you don't need any of them. I can tell you, if you just try it later, bro. Five instead of doing 50 fast push up, do 10 push ups, but 5 second up, 5 second down. It's horrible.
All right, I got you. I got you. I'm gonna try that one.
So you were questioning what is the most practical. So those two are practical, and what is the favorite training scene? Is it
Mm-hmm.
favorite training scene? Oh, fuck. I would say it's the when Goku and Vegeta was training with Whis. Reason being is like it's more of a competition kind of thing, and it's like the friendship, the bonding in that kind of training. Of course, the things they do with Whis is already ridiculous. It's not possible in
Yeah.
real life, but
What about the
I
sumo suits?
yeah
Not
I
them
enjoy
either.
it because of how of the bonding there, and that is also part of sports, right? Martial arts sports. Nothing helps you become best friend with the guy than you fight, strangle, kick, and punch every day, and then share a meal and break bread after.
Yeah.
Few things build a bond like that.
No, I can completely agree with that. Some of the best friends, one of my best friends in the world, started from fighting him. First time I kind of met him, and then just being homies, going over each other house every day, like after
Mhm.
school and training, like punching each other. We even had like one of them street fights where they got all of the cars lined up and the lights around and you fighting, but you still homies afterwards. So I can agree with that. That's why I empathize with Goku and Vegeta, Ken and Ryu a lot. Love them. Those probably my two favorite duos in anime. Is that an anime? Street Fighter?
Do they even make a Street Fighter anime? I don't think so, right?
No, they had a movie, but I guess I don't really consider that one. If you though, going back to the whole training thing, got two questions. I'm trying to crank them out.
Okay.
But do you have, if you could be trained by one anime character, who would it be?
If I could be trained by one anime character, if I want to talk in like terms of practicality wise, it's gonna be the boxing coach of Ippo and Takamura. It's the old man.
No, I'm gonna
Because
definitely about to watch that because you mentioned it three times now, so I gotta watch. How do you say it? Ippo?
yeah,
Ippo?
Hajime
Yeah,
no Ippo.
yeah, I gotta watch that.
If we talk about like a practical standpoint, that will translate to here, then yeah, the boxing guy. But if you talk about nothing is off limits, then hmm, maybe Whis, maybe the Grand Priest. So here's the thing, right? The Grand Priest, we know that he's the strongest in the multiverse or whatever. But
Mhm.
being very strong doesn't mean that you are a good teacher. That is one thing that I've learned. You can have,
I've said that to a lot of people, man. I've said that to a lot of people. Like, that's why. Do you watch The Ultimate Fighter?
yep.
And I didn't want to throw you off from your point, but you made a good point there. And when the season with Conor McGregor on there, and
Hmm.
how his team it was losing so bad, and I was like, in that moment, I was thinking, just because you are a really good fighter does not mean that you are a really good teacher. And I felt like that in that season, he did not do his very best. And I could be wrong because I wasn't there, but from the
Hmm.
cameras, it didn't look like he did his very best to make everyone better than they were.
Uh, I'm not sure about his coaching ability, of course. Like I never been there, but so I've been in situations where I'm surrounded by a lot of world champions, like best in the world when it comes to fighting. But when their ability comes to translate how good they are at fighting, so how to teach what they know, they struggle with that, or they to communicate with another person because theory is one thing, right? But to bring out the best as a coach, to bring out the best in an athlete, it takes a special kind of connection.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one thing to consider as well. And that's something I have with my coach, who is also an anime fan. So um yeah, I would say in terms of practicality, is be the old man from Ipoh. In terms of nothing is off limits, probably Grand Priest, but hopefully he's a good teacher as he is the great fighter. But he probably is because he trained all his ninjas. So
Yeah,
I'll take that.
and he's calm, and he seems to be calm and patient. I think those are, you don't necessarily have to be calm, but I feel like being a good teacher takes some patience though. And
Yep.
I do see that from him. Now, in a perfect world where you don't get completely destroyed off one hit, what anime characters would you want to fight? You get to be in a ring with them, you're going across them. Because the fight that I watched, your last fight that I watched, it seemed like you and the other opponent at one point was kind of having fun. Like I saw where there was some smiles and some, or you tapped gloves a couple of times. You had like your Super Saiyan God red hair in that fight. Um,
So yeah, that's actually the professional fight that I lost. My only professional loss actually. But so you were saying what anime character if I would like to fight, right?
yeah.
It has to be someone I dislike. I mean, if I get to train or fight Goku because or it's getting better, but someone I dislike. So here's the thing: when I pick someone like this, right,
Hmm.
I want to pick everyone's favorite, and then I'll destroy him. So a lot of times people like Saitama or something, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, I want to fight Saitama. I want
yeah.
to be the villain that destroys people's dreams. In a way, I'm sadistic that way.
No, it take a little bit of that energy to be able to fight at a professional level. I mean, you ain't gonna like everybody that you scrap with. So I feel that. And personally, I would love to see Saitama get his ass whooped. Only because I get tired of people comparing him to Goku. And I know there is no real feats for us to like show that Goku would beat his ass. But man, that'd be irritating the shit out of me. So if you got in there and you beat Saitama, I would be happy.
And that is the exact point. When people compare it to, so even before this, like people were okay, they weren't comparing Naruto because everyone knows that Goku will eat Naruto for breakfast and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I did not watch Naruto for a long time. Reason being because I like fuck that shit, I'm a hardcore Dragon Ball. But I would say I opened up my mind. I listened and I started watching Naruto like 2-3 episodes. It's not bad. But the point is, yeah, whenever sometimes I don't even support something. I only support it just to trigger people because they
Hmm.
go against Dragon Ball.
No, I feel that. It took me a minute to watch Naruto, but I ended up getting through it, and it's one of my favorite. I think Naruto talk too much, but I like it though. It's some, they got some good fight choreography there that I really enjoy. That I think that maybe Dragon Ball could incorporate more of, unless they made every fight more like the Jiren fight. What did you think of the Dragon Ball superhero movie? Did
Super
you like the
super
CGI? Did you like the fight scenes?
CGI
Or
was
have you
great.
seen it?
What? Yeah, I've seen it. Mm, Honestly, it's hard for me to say anything about Dragon Ball that I hate because, as I said again, it all comes back to the same myself. I'm just happy to see my heroes again.
Yeah.
So it's good to see even as small little scene with Goku and Vegeta. Broly, although they made him cry, is like that's so annoying. Make Broly such a softie when Broly is like meant for destruction. Yeah, I did really enjoy it. There's nothing particular that like stood out. Yeah, nothing really particular that stood out, man.
Okay. I guess is my last question that I'll ask is, if you could, not translate, but if you could say anything to the audience about like how anime has practically changed your life, and how they can kind of, I guess, apply what has helped you be a success from anime into their
Mhm.
lives, like what would you say?
So I'm gonna be biased and say watch Dragon Ball. So that is one thing first, right? But if you really look at the story of Dragon Ball, a young kid came to Earth, not even by his choice, meant to destroy Earth, found a nice human, built a bond, end up actually killing that human. He killed his grandpa, right? By accident when he became a great ape. But through that, through the kindness of other people, all he did was trying to become better himself as a martial artist. But the martial artist becoming better translate to real life. You don't have to fight. Not everyone is gonna fight. But do apply that to your business, apply that to your career. Even if you are a fucking, I don't know, engineer or something, be the best engineer that you can be. Nothing, no job as long as an honest job is don't look down on people's like honest job, like if it's an honest job and it requires hustle, respect that. Like even fucking flipping burgers, you can be the best burger flipper. It takes it's I'm not saying like everybody should do this or do that, but it's a mindset that becoming the best that you can be at what you do, no matter what you choose. Continuously improve yourself, be kind to actually the people, protect your loved ones. You see how Goku always protect them, be kind to them, and keep leveling up. Like the way I see it, right? People complain so much about their life and all that stuff. A simple thing: your life gets better when you get better.
Agreed. Agreed.
It's so simple.
I try to tell people that like will reach out and they say, how did like you grow your page so far and stuff like that. And I guess the way that I explain it is that I gave up a lot to do a lot, and I
Mhm.
wouldn't recommend a lot of my decisions on how I started for other people to start. But I quit my job one day, was in, and ended up finding another job as a security guard the next day, and
Mhm.
started working on my page in my car for 8 hours straight until something kind of cracked. And then I was doing like Uber at the same time. I was doing the podcast. So I completely empathize with that whole, not even just hustle, but that mindset that it levels up. And so now, from that decision that I made, that was like a hard one
Mhm.
at first, because every anime character has that like first part of their life that was pretty hard, except for Goku. He just hit his head. But most characters have like this big thing that made them have to change their life. And I feel like that's how most movies are. But that's what it
Hero
was.
journey.
Is I hated my job. I hated the way I was living life. And I legit quit, started from there, and doing that, boomerang effect put me in a position where I get paid to do this. So I empathize with everything that she said completely, and I hope that anybody that watches can, extract that value from what you was saying.
Happy for you, bro. Yeah, I mean, it's really simple. Just get better. Get better in your studies, your fitness, and everything is connected. Don't be that one-dimensional guy. Don't be that rich guy that is fat as fuck. No one respect him. Don't be that gym bro that goes to the gym and know nothing else, cannot talk to girls, cannot make money, cannot do anything. Be competent in all aspects. Get better in all aspects, and do the work. Like you said, it's not easy for you to get to where you want, where you are now. You quit your job, you find this, find that. I quit my job as well. Like I made $0 in my business before I quit my job. I bet on myself because I know that the system work. I just need to do the work. But way too many people quit before they do the work. Dragon
Yeah,
Ball never teaches people to quit. That I believe there was one scene where it might be OG Broly that asked Goku, "Why don't you just give up?" And Goku reply was, "Because I've never been taught how to give up."
no, that's real. That's hard right there. That's some hard shit. Is that right before he got punched in the face and like the screen cracked and shit like that?
Possibly,
I remember he got messed up that fight.
possibly. And while we're on that, and you talk about all these characters having hardship before, right? One approach I actually call it the Super Saiyan mindset is that think of yourself as a Super Saiyan or a hero, whatever floats your boat, right? Everything that happens to you is happening for you. All right, if you can view it this way, then you can use it as power to actually overcome it. Because yeah, every character, every hero you ever admire, they will not be a hero if they didn't have hardship. You only admire them because they overcome those hardship, right? And those hardship and those sad situations or whatever you want to call it, it's only sad if you let it be that way. Yes, at that point in time, it can be sad, but once you overcome it, it becomes a fucking good story, right?
Yeah. And that's how I always think. Like Joe Rogan said something about being like the main character in your own movie. And in my mind, I live every day as if it's my own anime. And so I give myself a theme song for the day. I
Nice.
give myself like a training montage that I start the day with, and just thinking of yourself as that in every hardship kind of being like an arc or being like a battle that you would watch in an anime. Sometimes they get their ass whooped and they got to go back and train harder than they did before to overcome it. And I think just applying like that storytelling aspect of things to your own life, don't live in delusion, because you're not gonna get no random power up, but like actually playing that out, I think it does a lot for someone.
Yep, absolutely.
But if somebody needed some extra help and wanted to get it from you, let them know like how they can do that. Cause I saw that, you do offer those type of services. And you definitely good at what you do.
So they can find me on Instagram at Benedict BNEDICT_Saiyan SAIYAN. That is where I do most of my stuff. That's where I connect with people the most. And I have a few different things, right? I have like the free products. If you want it, just go click on the link in the bio. There's a few there. Some you have to pay, some are free, and then they can apply for one-on-one coaching as well. But that is also very selective, because the truth is you can't help everyone. Even if they apply, I have to make sure that I can even help them with their situation. And if it's the right fit, then yeah, we'll go along. And I always make it very difficult for people to do that, because I feel like I like to make it difficult for people to work with me, in the sense that I kind of do things to repel them away. All right. Reason being, when they make it past that, they are the best people to ever work with.
No,
So that's me, man.
That sound real. Kind of like if I don't know if your gym is like this, but most of the time you go into a gym and that first day of being in that gym is shitty, but it lets you it helps
Prove
to
yourself.
weed out the weaklings from the people who actually want to be doing this. And maybe you tap out the first time, but if it's something that you really want to do, you come back and do it. So I feel that energy.
Yeah,
But
that's like
thank you,
it's.
man.
Mm,
Thank you for coming through. Thank you for being on the podcast. And thank you for shedding some light on how some of these moves are practical, some of the practical workouts that you left us with. And then if anybody, kind of pulled some value from the stuff that you were saying, hopefully it motivates people to be a better version of themselves. And, if they need help with that, they can reach out. But thank you, bro. I appreciate you coming through and just
I
being
appreciate
real.
you too, Gamari.
All right, man. You take care and keep being great.
All right, peace out.